I get pushed right back, Charlie.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Finally, am I live? Of course I'm live. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. I hope you've all had a great week and a progressive week and started off 2023 in the best possible way, really. Smash the like button, get your comments in, turn the notifications on, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. Make sure you're cross-following and on all the other socials. Again, people, we're going to speak about Mudryk. Allegedly, we've made significant progress. Milinković-Savić. Rumours won't go away, and anything else. As usual, appreciative of the platforms we've built, people, but the journey keeps going. Make sure you're following, and I appreciate all your support. I felt with this Mudryk stuff, a lot of you have been on me, deluded, man. You never go live anymore, man. 11:30s and this and that. And I know it's not quite 11:30, but I'm trying my best in it. I'm trying my best. I'm just one man still. Again, in terms of shameless, absolute shameless promotion, people. I'm watching the Manchester derby, City against United, United against City with you lot. And I'm also watching the North London derby between Tottenham Hotspurs and obviously Arsenal. I've just dropped the links in there. Obviously, some of you would have noticed that a video came out of mine last night. Appreciative to everyone who's watched that and everyone who was at my watch along where Fulham defeated Chelsea and extended their gap on Chelsea, people. I did a video today. I don't know why, but whenever I talk about Mudryk, things always get demonetized, but it's all calm. It's all calm. We keep moving. Again, for condensed news, it is what it is in that regards. All right, back on the live streams. DG. Soon, man. Have you been live daily like normal? Ain't seen it. Glad to catch you today. No, the videos have been, but I wouldn't say, man. I'd say since the World Cup, I looked at it analytically and it made sense to do less, really. But I did miss it being with you lot, man. South London, shout out to you. B, C-Law, shout out to the regulars. Mike, I have seen that username before as well. Shout out to me for the first comment. As I've said, smash the like button, 100 likes target. Manchester derby and North London derby watch alongs this weekend. If you're on YouTube, that's pinned to the live message, man. S, appreciative, another regular. So yeah, people, get your comments in. You know what? What's the point wasting time? Let's actually. It's been do you know what? I keep forgetting how to do this. Let's make some timestamps. So what would the time be? Let's say 5:40. When it gets to 5:40, we'll start looking at transfer news and just going over these things, people. Because there's a lot of things to really get over. Really, nothing too new, but there's a couple of other things as well. You know, 5:40. Let's crack on. Let me share my screen with you. Look, first thing, people. They're on to us. We've got 2 consecutive charges by the FA, you know, one for a dodgy handball, complaining against a dodgy handball against Oxford, and then reacting to evident time wasting against Newcastle. I don't begrudge Newcastle. It is what it is. There's times we've had to waste time. There's times we will have to waste time. So I've got no beef, but I don't understand how the football is in play statistically. Less than average. The ball was in play at Newcastle, less than average. And obviously, shocking decisions against Oxford. Obviously, we never lost. They're on to us. Apparently, people... Well, First thing, the Telegraph Sport understands it was originally Mikel Arteta's idea to deploy Zinchenko as an inverted left back at Man City. Zinchenko had arrived in England as an attacking midfielder. He had not forgotten what Arteta had done for him, and that's why he's our first choice fullback, man. Of course, we're live CST appreciative to you tuned in. Smash the like button, but that's actually not it. Allegedly, a few weeks ago into his Arsenal career, Zinchenko was told off for being too passionate by the FA. Really? A country that, you know, I've seen a lot of legends for this country at my club and all, you know, that are not necessarily good footballers, but they fly into tackles. They're passionate. You know, Arsenal were accused of not having passion, of lacking pride in the shirt. A man comes in, he's excited, living his dream as an Arsenal fan. There's an issue. The FA's warning came in the form of a letter sent to Zinchenko in August as a result of his celebrations after a win against Fulham. We had to come from behind against Fulham, you know, and obviously it's 3 points. What are they on about? I'm sorry, but it feels, I'm not really this conspiracy theorist Arsenal fan, but it does feel like, I don't know what Arteta, Edu, Vinay did to someone's daughter in the FA, but you need to mend bridges in it because they're onto us. It seems like there's something a bit too sinister in that regards, man. I don't really understand that. Apparently, in the Premier League this season, Zinchenko averages more successful passes and progressive passes per game than any other Arsenal player. I mean, he's a centre mid by trade playing at left back, so that doesn't necessarily surprise me. But big up Zinchenko and Mikel Arteta and things like that. Arsenal's body composition requirements are slightly more strict than City's, and Zinchenko, who faces Spurs in another North London derby this weekend, is understood to be in better shape than ever. Run up the agendas, man. Run up the agendas, man. From the moment Zinchenko walked through the Arsenal doors, he's been one of the most vocal members of the squad. His message to teammates are they are capable of winning this league and should accept nothing less. Oi, Zinni, fullback union, we're the most important. Shout out to Mikel Arteta and Martin Odegaard, who have won player and manager of the month in the Premier League, respectively, as well, people. But cracking on away from all of that, what is this? So, yeah, cracking on from all of that, people. As I said, make sure you're here for these things that we've got going on. As I said, Odegaard's been named Premier League Player of the Month for November and December. It's light work, man. It's light work for the class region. It's light work. We really do this. We really do this. I heard certain man signed João Felix were, you know, throwing their panties at the fact that he was dropping shoulders, and I heard he didn't complete the game. Allegedly, Mikel Arteta's second choice striker, Eddie Nketiah, throws down Gabriel Jesus challenge. I can be Arsenal's #1 striker. Even though I don't necessarily believe that, you should believe that. I want everyone to, whether you've come through the academy, whether you've been bought for 40-odd million. Why we're all friends and that, and it's a team. We're here to play a game. So I believe that. If you don't believe you could do that, wearing the number 14, you should move away. So I respect that from Eddie Nketiah, and I love his attitude, as I've said numerous times. Apparently, he said, "Of course, I've just signed a new contract. I wouldn't have if I didn't believe I could play, and I'm sure the coaching staff believe in me." And that's all that matters. As long as Arteta believes in you, the fans aren't necessarily important because we've shown opinions can fluctuate. I try to focus on helping the team and improving as a player. I'm only 23. I've still got a lot of years to grow and improve. I wish Jesus a speedy recovery. We want him back and we need him back for the team. For myself, I just go about it game by game. I know what I can do. I know what I can bring to the team. And it's just about working hard and giving my all to be able to show that and contribute. Lokonga, I hope you're taking heed. I've always been an Arsenal supporter. I joined the club at the age of 14. I understand the importance of the derby. I know what it means to the fans, and we're going to give everything to go there and try to get 3 points. Big up Eddie Nketiah, people. Cracking on. This isn't necessarily relevant, but this is in relation to Fulham, people. The agenda against Arsenal is so obvious. It's true. People always against us celebrating if we win this league. Touch wood. Why? It's popping off, bro. They're going to have Arteta, Edu, and Cole. Arsenal should cease to exist. We should party like never before. And we need to, wherever Richard Keys lives, because he can't work in England after his comments, we need to go over, book a flight over there and celebrate in front of his gaff, bring all the Arsenal hooligan fans and let off fireworks and make bare noise. Apparently, Marco Silva is speaking about a bunch of players, but in relation to Cedric, he said, "I'm not saying that Cedric is true or not. We are looking for that position. I will not hide to you." So what does that say, people, where Fulham are concerned? And you know what? At this moment, certain other London clubs could do with Cedric. You know, he's looking better than Emerson Royal and big up Reece James, but he's not about really. We've been linked with Fresnadar again of Valladolid. 1 minute it's Newcastle, Real Madrid, then us. Allegedly, he's actually at London Hotel, which again, I don't know if that necessarily means joining Arsenal, but it is something to consider, folks. With rumours about the possible departure of Ivan Fresnadar from Real Valladolid in the form of a $1 million transfer, his agent, Luis Bajai, has spoken. Allegedly, people apparently in this snapshot you can see a swimming pool next to the phrase to disconnect. What stands out the most, however, is the location, a Holiday Inn in Kensington, which again draw into that what you want to draw, people. with several English clubs interested. One is London's Arsenal, leaders of the Premier League, leaders of the Premier League, leaders of the Premier League. I never knew that. In recent days, have become very interested in the player. For this reason, curiosity about this trip increases, relating to Fresnedar even more. I mean, he could be in a London hotel signing for another club. He could just be on holiday, or Arsenal, Spurs, Crystal Palace, Brentford, any London club, Chelsea could be interested. So it all depends what you read there. I'm sure a lot of you, and B said it there, you know, Leandro Trossard's been linked with Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and more sort of substance, I would say Spurs. Apparently his future's in doubt at Brighton, as he's banished from first team training by their manager due to concerns over his attitude. Crazy. And now he's a doubt to play Liverpool. I'm sure Liverpool fans won't care, because obviously he savaged them people, you know. I appreciate the signing, but is he another Pepe? As you said, Pepe got the transfer for purple patches, Mudryk the same. I hope not, you know, I hope not. But truthfully, broski, who knows? At the end of the day, if he does the business, no one cares about the transfer fee. What I would say is, what I see from my limited knowledge, look, Mudryk looks a very exciting player. Looks like he could take someone on 1v1. Looks closer to a bit like Martinelli. Is a bit different to what we have. He looks like he's continuously on getting shots away and just provoking havoc. I think he's obviously a smart player, plays with his head up. I do think there's scope to improve, and he can play in tight spaces. I do think there's been a shift in his mentality. I do think there's a rough diamond. But at 21 years of age, if you're labeled the Ukrainian Neymar, best after Mbappe and Vinicius, there's a certain degree of hype that you can't be hidden from. And when you look at the reality, he is great business if they're going to get 60, 70, 80, 100 million euros, whatever, from Arsenal, because he's 21 years of age, 70 odd appearances across 2 loan spells, and obviously 44 for Shakhtar. If we just mile it down to Shakhtar, he's played 44 times. Fantastic business, especially with what's been going on with Ukraine and them losing players and losing money out the door as a result. But he's 21. You're not going to be the finished article. There's a culture shock that's going to hit him with what Mikel Arteta wants you to do off and on the ball. There's adaptation on and on the football field. You know, your physical condition, obviously, when the World Cup stopped, other leagues primarily the Premier League, we got going, we kept playing, we kept doing what we're doing. He's now in a mid-preseason sort of training camp with Shakhtar, as their season's about to gear up. So I say that to say this: how fit is he really? We've all seen the images of him in Dubai working with personal trainers and that, but is he in the best condition, really and truly? And obviously, he's going to have to adapt to the intensity and ultimately the step up in the Premier League, because you're a big fish in a small pond at Shakhtar. If you're good 1v1, if you can score goals, if you can get assists, if you have potential to be, as much as I like it, when I look at it on the other side, I don't really care, because if you shouldn't be at Arsenal if you don't have these things. And I think this is the best time to sign players. Evidently, you saw against Newcastle, we could have liked some greater attacking options to bring off the bench. Obviously, he isn't necessarily starting. Smith Rowe is getting back fit, and that left wing was his. Smith Rowe can't grab that off Martinelli. Martinelli don't care for this guy signing. Nobody wants to lose their spot. So we could give him that healthy scope to adapt, and equally he could help us progress. But where Trossard's concerned, people, the attitude thing, he's been alienated from training, probably trying to engineer a move away in January, really, excluding the summer. As you know, Brighton have taken out a year in his contract. Do you believe that this season is our new normal for football and we should be finishing top 2 next season too? Or is it more like Leicester's fixtures and luck on the night? I do believe you need luck in football, but at the same time, we've played 14, 15, 16, however many games. Any luck that Arsenal benefited on has been a byproduct of us doing things this season so far that we haven't done in seasons before, really and truly. Raw. Mendy's been cleared still, mad thing. But yeah, and obviously as Arsenal Football Club, you want to progress that in a couple of years or next season or whatever. We're not necessarily surprised or amazed or whatnot. You know, you don't praise Floyd Mayweather for being consistent or Lionel Messi for necessarily being a good footballer. It comes with the territory and the reputation they've earned off years of doing what they're doing. And naturally, like any club, why would you not want that? So, but if it was a Leicester sort of season, a fluke sort of season, now listen, win the league. Allegedly, if we are challenging for that, because I know the target was Champions League and I don't check the league table, deal with everything else later, man. Smash the like button, people. Again, that is irrelevant. What is all of this? Oh, that was me reading the news. Arsenal make contact with Sergej Milinković-Savić agent. Arsenal have reportedly been in contact with the agent of Lazio midfielder Sergej Milinković-Savić to discuss a possible move to the Emirates Stadium. As you know, the 27-year-old has been consistently linked with a move away from Lazio over the last few years, with a number of clubs said to be admirers of the Serbian international. Manchester United, Chelsea, Real Madrid and Barca are among the clubs to be linked with Milinković-Savić, who has entered the final 18 months of his contract with Lazio. According to this report in Italy, Arsenal have now made contact with the Serbian's agent to discuss a potential switch to North London during this summer's transfer window. Some actually say he could, you know, some reports that we've covered in the last few days have said that, they'll take a 10 million loan fee in January with an obligation to buy in the summer for 40. So I don't know if that means you run them another 30 and the true cost is 40 million euros, or if it means 50 people. He's been in good form. He's got 5 goals and registered 7 assists in 22 appearances so far. He obviously played at the World Cup where it was underwhelming for the whole of Serbia, really and truly. Again, we all know Milinković-Savić and his boss and the Lazio president said they wouldn't sell him for anything less than 120 million, which equates to 105. With him being contracted until 2024, it's a bit of a madness. Other teams have slacked and reacted in this window. We have to do the same. I don't care about the price. He's the guy they want. Go and get him. Amen. If he does the job, no one cares, innit, really? If you don't do the job, then there's issues. What I would say is we timidly, we tried to get him in the summer, and obviously in the months that have followed, Mudryk has become the guy. So if you believe how you can take him from, how he can help in the short, long, and medium term, then do what you need to do. It's mad how he stayed at Lazio so long because they've clearly priced him out of a move. Previously, he said, I will not sell Milinković-Savić. I will offer a renewal. I will reiterate, he is now worth 120 million euros. And every month that passes, the price goes up. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Allegedly, he said Milinković is not for sale. I turned down 140 million euros bid for him years ago. I'm not too sure if that was, the smartest thing to do. I'd ask Sergej what he wants and what he wants to do only in the case we receive an important proposal from a world-class top club. So we're going to have to see how that develops in relation to Sergej Milinković-Savić. Actually, Milinković-Savić. I actually want to find another article in relation to him, people. There we have it. Sorry, folks. Slap that in there. Big up you lot, whether you're tuned in on Twitch or YouTube, the good old YouTube in that. Smash the like button, folks. 130 locked in, 48 likes. Can we get to 100 before the end of the stream? Why do I get Koulibaly vibes from SMS? Because he's been there for time, man. We do need a centre mid. I'm not going to lie. Ideally, we need 3 players this Jan. I would say 2. Ideally 3. But I would say 2 would make me feel really happy. I mean, Mikel Arteta spoken about Gabriel Jesus is out for months and we only have 1 striker. Again, you do need to stick to what people say, but that made me think if there is an opportunity, could you bring in a striker to complement Eddie Nketiah, Jesus, and our group of attacking options? Does that mean you want a winger so that obviously Eddie can keep doing what he's doing if anything happens to Eddie, or in terms of rotation, as we've got the FA Cup, the Europa League in the Prem, maybe Martinelli goes up there, Mudryk comes in. There's also rumours Mudryk can play up front, but I don't really know any of that. Honestly, we're going to have to find out about the player. I do want a centre midfielder though. I mean, winger and a centre mid, I'll deal with that. In my opinion, within the next 2 summers, within now and the next 2 transfer windows, I'd like about 3-4 signings. If it was up to me, which is not, I would like a striker with different qualities to Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. I would like a number 8. I would like a number 6, so 2 central midfielders. In an ideal world, I'd say at least 1 centre back, but ideally left-sided centre back, that can challenge Benjamin if he plays over there, Gabriel and Saliba. And at a push, no disrespect to Holding, he does his thing. But if you could find someone that could fill in the Holding sort of squad role in this team, but to a better standard, I would do that really and truly. And I'd keep an eye on right back to go with Brook Norton-Cuffy's progress and the fact of while we look good with Benjamin and Tomiyasu, I do think there's a scope to bring in somebody there, really. But apart from that, I'd say priority is a centre mid. We tried to bring in a winger and a centre mid in the summer. Obviously, our hands were kind of forced, and we were forced to focus a bit more on the centre mid region because El Nene and Partey picked up knocks. Obviously, it didn't work out where Douglas, Luiz Telemans, Danilo, or anyone else who was linked with at the time. It just didn't bang. A defensive mid for me this window would be calm. I hear that. I just think, we've got 3 centre mids or 3 genuine centre mid options for me. And El Nene, who, if anything happens with Xhaka and Partey, you come in, you work better with them. We kind of know what we get a bit more. I'll always support Lokonga. I mean, I'll support every player here, and I hope that you get an opportunity and you take it. But if I just go on what we've seen, probably can't rely on you. And you're the one exception to the rule in that you're the guy that you could kind of say is going to be here long term. Xhaka, Partey, and then they're kind of here for the present. We've got longevity defensively and obviously offensively. We haven't really got that in central midfield. So I would like another midfield body, and I think Arteta would too. But January is a difficult time. People don't necessarily want to sell. It's a reactive market. You're reacting to players wanting to leave because of lack of football, injuries to your squad, contracts, and all of that sort of jazz. Get Mudryk, Milinković-Savić, and sell Balogun. Buy a cheap backup after that. Long time I haven't tuned into DG. Blessings for the new year, bro. And the family. One love, appreciative. Right back at you and everybody tuned in. We're going to be playing a lot of games soon. We need options. Savić needs to come in as soon as possible on loan. Arsenal told they can sign Milinković-Savić this month. It's shock loan deal before 44 million transfer for Man United target. Arsenal have been told they can sign Lazio star Sergej Milinković-Savić on loan this month, according to reports. The Gunners are hoping to complete a deal for Shakhtar, the next winger Mudryk, who is their number one January target. But Mikel Arteta also wants depth in midfield ahead of what could be a testing second half of the season in the Prem, FA Cup and Europa League. The Gunners failed in their deadline day attempt to sign Aston Villa man Douglas Luiz, who has since signed a new deal. That appears to suggest Arteta still wants to bring in a central midfielder, and a report out Italy reckons Savić could end up being that man. I'd imagine this in the summer. The Lazio ace's contract expires in 2024, but he could be allowed to leave the Italian capital this month. I mean, he's been linked with Arsenal, Man United, but where's the credibility? Let's see what's going on here. Apparently, he could leave as early as January, according to what was reported by this publication. The president, Lotito, tired of the push and pull with the player for a renewal, would also accept a transfer or on an expensive loan of 10 million euros with a redemption obligation at the end of the season set at 40 million euros for a total, therefore, 50 million. Juventus and Arsenal, clubs historically interested in Milinković-Savić, would have already raised their antennas ready for the transfer market coup. I think he goes Juventus, but it is what it is in that regard. So that's Milinković-Savić and all of that. In relation to Mudryk now, people, in current form, where does Milinković-Savić play for? He probably doesn't get in the team, but you'd imagine he takes Xhaka's role. And that could be a reason we do or don't sign him. As you know, Fabrizio Romano reported on Thursday that Arsenal made a third official bid for Mudryk. He's provided an update, people, and he said, we can say that Arsenal submitted the third official bid for Mudryk. The first one, 40 million euros plus add-ons, rejected. The second one, 50 million plus add-ons, rejected. Now Arsenal have offered 70 million guaranteed, and add-ons are also part of the deal. I'm told that the add-ons package is close to 20 to 25 million euros. Arsenal are really getting closer to the 100 million euros, but with add-ons. It's important to explain that when we say add-ons, it can mean something really difficult to achieve. For example, to win the Ballon d'Or, smash the like button, keep your opinions coming in. To win the Ballon d'Or, to win the Champions League, to win trophies, or it could be something really easy to achieve. It could be like the number of games to play or a number of goals to score. So add-ons sometimes mean something general, but the reality is that it's something really specific. This is why Arsenal and Shakhtar will keep in contact to discuss about the proposal. Arsenal are waiting for Shakhtar to decide, but add-ons is a lot of money, and this is why the two clubs will be in contact on that. But the bid is on the table, 20 to 25 million euros in add-ons, 70 million guaranteed for someone that's played 44 times in at 21 years of age. That's good money, Shakhtar. Stop acting. We know that Arsenal have an agreement with the player. There's no problem on the personal terms. Let me clarify one thing. We're not at the stage of at the here we go stage. The bid is on the table, and now it's on Shakhtar, and the negotiations continue. But we have to wait and see if a deal can be completed. Previously, he did say the player always wanted Arsenal as a priority. So on the player side, nothing has changed. I've seen many rumours in the last 2-3 days saying it's almost done, Mudryk to Arsenal. At the moment, it's not done. At the moment, it's negotiations between Arsenal and Shakhtar. They are speaking, they are negotiating. The player wants Arsenal, and that's helping Arsenal in negotiations. They're confident, they're optimistic, but it's not a done deal yet. Arsenal knows that Shakhtar wants 100 million euros for Mudryk. The player wants to go to Arsenal. The player wants to go to Arsenal. The player is obsessed with Arsenal, as you've seen with his social antics. So there's also this kind of respect for the player. And this is why I feel in the end they could accept something less than 100 million. But as of right now, they are asking for 100 million euros. Let me just say, Arsenal are really confident because they're speaking to Shakhtar every single day. They're pushing in negotiations. They're trying to find a way to give Shakhtar what they want, but not guaranteed 100 million euros. Talks ongoing. Arsenal are confident, but it is not done yet. It's not over to the fat lady sings. You should become an agent. I should, man. YouTube the wrong hustle. We shouldn't forget spots have to be made to accommodate signings. Would you really? I hear that, but would you really think there's not a spot for a central midfielder? I'm with Mudryk. We can play Martinelli in the middle or play with our two old strikers up front formation. Either way, we need that extra firepower. Xhaka is done out here. He's been terrible last few games. We need Savić. Classic Guna. I'm going to have to disagree. I don't think Xhaka's been terrible this season, much less our last two games. He might not be scoring goals, but that's a madness. I like Martinelli, but I think Mudryk will take his spot. Mudryk is faster and less selfish. The amount of times I've seen Martinelli hold on to the ball for too long. And again, without having 10 games to bring to Mudryk, do you think some of the... And I back it, I want Mudryk to believe he could take spots. I want everyone to believe that. But do you really think that's going to be too dissimilar? All of them do. As great as Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe, and all these young dons are, even Jesus to a slight degree and Eddie, that, sometimes they shoot when they should pass when they should shoot. Sometimes they don't necessarily take opportunities. Sometimes they overdo it. Check out the video I did on my YouTube page, people, and I'll find it for you. Where Ukrainian football expert of Zora London, Andrew, we spoke about that. We spoke about Mudryk's weaknesses, and he said at times he will do too much. That's no disrespect to him. That's not dissimilar from Martinelli, but I expect that. As I said, 21 years of age, people. He's 21. He's played 44 times. I'm not expecting a guy to be the finished article. As long as Arteta knows how he can help us in the short term, how he, knows his strengths, and now that can help us make his strengths even greater and evidently work on his weaknesses. Where is it, bro? We've brought out David. There it is. Let me get the link for you guys, people. Again, this is some extended homework for some of you. Don't go and play it. Let me come back to the screen. There we go. So I expect that sort of stuff, bro. But yeah, carrying on this, people. Arsenal close to agreeing a deal for 80 million star Mudryk by paying more than 50 million up front, with the Gunners in pole position despite Chelsea's interest. We've seen what they did to João Felix already. When last did he get a red card? Agendas after agenda. Getting paid. He just come in London for a holiday, man. Arsenal are close to an agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk for Mudryk. The deal is believed to be worth between 75 and 80 million for Mudryk. The Gunners are prepared to offer more than 50 million up front for the winger. Shakhtar Donetsk initially set an asking price of 88 million for the 22-year-old. There's growing confidence that Arsenal are close to an agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk over a January deal for Mudryk. Sources in Ukraine say discussions over a move for the Ukraine international, believed to be worth between 75 and 80 million, are still ongoing. Shakhtar set an asking price of 88 million for the 22-year-old, and it's understood Arsenal could now be prepared to offer more than 50 million up front. As we've seen, personal terms are not expected to be a problem, given Mudryk has made clear his desire to join Arsenal. The two clubs are trying to find common ground on the structure of a deal, namely the proportion of add-ons and whether they can be met by Mudryk. So that seems to be the consensus. Arsenal's opening two bids were turned down, and there were fears that Chelsea could scupper their move for Mudryk, Mikel Arteta's primary January target. Sources claim Chelsea remain in talks with Shakhtar, but Arsenal have always appeared in pole position due to Mudryk's clear desire to move to North London. So again, assuming Mudryk happens, that's Mudryk, Jesus, Richarlison, and Raphinha, who have all turfed Chelsea and played them really. And Shakhtar have done well to kind of play Arsenal and Chelsea against each other. Arsenal have done well to stick to their guns, but we do want to get this guy in. Arteta did previously say the problem is that we only have one striker, and to cope for that many months until Gabby is back is not easy, but we have to get the most out of the players that we have at the moment. If we can have some reinforcements, great. So the gaffer has said it there, really. Again, kind of the same thing with Mudryk. Arsenal make new offer of 62 million plus bonuses for Mudryk following further talks, people. So yeah, man. The restructured proposal is understood to be around 62 million plus bonuses. The key for Shakhtar is that they wanted more up front than the 45 million offered. And while their ideal is 80 million, they're expected to accept slightly less. Again, scrolling all the way down, we all know Chelsea have been involved. We all know the social media antics that Mudryk is doing, people. So we'll have to see. Currently, he's in Turkey because he's contracted to still work for Shakhtar, and they're beginning for their resumption of the Ukrainian league, people. So it is what it is. Also, have you heard why we lost interest in Danilo? Maybe there's other targets. Maybe we've on further scouting, Danilo's not the guy. We're going to see if he allegedly goes thingy, innit? If he allegedly goes Nottingham Forest. Let's try Milinković-Savić on loan, and if it doesn't work out, try Fiori in the summer. Smash the likes, people. Get the likes up to 200 and subscribe. Join the DG Nation. South London's finest. You're too nice. S has said, big up DG. One love, my guy. If Mudryk happens, you playing Martinelli through the middle or holding on with Eddie? I think right now, Martinelli would stay through the middle because on one hand, I do think Martinelli has the scope to play on the left, on the right, and long-term up front. But with Jesus gone, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't really want to mess around with Martinelli at this moment, but it is something to consider. It is something to do. And with Eddie Nketiah, until he does anything else, he's showing he deserves it. He's doing well. Yes, he's added a couple of goals to his game recently, but I think his general performance has been good. So until we have to really explore that, I wouldn't do it right now. But long-term, Martinelli being able to play as a striker is something. But there's a lot of education that Martinelli is shown from a year ago playing left wing. There's a lot of re-education they'll have to do to play up front. And we've lost already what Jesus gives us. What Martinelli's giving us presently, you might lose that with him playing up front because you're going to have to kind of be selfless. And Martinelli's in a nice way. He's got ants in his pants. He wants to get involved. He'd have to play slightly different, but he's quick. He's relentless in his pressing. Obviously, he's developing physically. He'd have to improve with his back to goal and how he affects the game and sometimes making certain runs so that other people could take advantage. So the defo could do it, but I don't think I'd play around with it right now. It is nice to have options across the pitch, Daniel. Amen. Remember when Arsenal fans didn't want depth? Oh, we can't get Odegaard. Oh, we're going to have Smith Rowe and Saka this and Saka that and the rest of it. Milinković-Savić with option to buy is a no-brainer. Get it done. DJ, if we get Champions League in the summer, would you still get Savić or would you look at someone else? Because for me, I would go a little younger. I mean, dream signings, if you can get Milinković-Savić, Barella, but I'm even on Declan Rice, really. If you put the bread down, like if you could get these kind of guys, then make it happen, innit? But the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, man. DG, to be honest, in your eyes, is this Mudryk worth the hype? I don't know, because I can't tell you his weaknesses. I can't tell you a time things have gone wrong in the game for him. I can't tell you 10 90-minute games. From what I've seen, it looks like you got some qualities that you can bring at Arsenal. What I would say is calm it all down a bit, because he's 21 years of age and there will be a culture shock, and he is joining mid-season. But Mikel Arteta and Edu, if you wanted him in the summer, you've obviously scouted him before that, before he's become known to us normal football fans. Since then, obviously, he's doing what he's doing in Ukraine and he's doing what needs to be done in the champs. There's potential there in it, so go and make it happen. Tonali, all these wavy guys, Danilo's allegedly signed for Forest. So if Forest go down, which I think they might, or they could beat it, who knows, man? Either it's a missed one or a dodged bullet. Again, Arsenal edge closer to Mudryk deal as transfer talks accelerate with Shakhtar, says Charles Watts of Goal.com. Arsenal have edged closer to landing Mudryk after breakthrough in talks with Shakhtar Donetsk over the star winger. As we know, people, negotiations have been ongoing for weeks between the two clubs over Mudryk, who is desperate to make the move to North London this month. Shakhtar have been insistent throughout that they want 100 million euros in bracket 88 million for the 22-year-old. A figure Arsenal have been reluctant to meet. But the Gunners are now hopeful that a deal can be struck, with sources confirming to Goal that the protracted negotiations are now centered around the final structure of the transfer. So if we've got the framework done, we just need to dot I's, cross T's. We've got personal terms done. We just needs to do his medical once officially a bid's been agreed. Rather than the initial fee with the potential add-ons, the key point of this of discussions. Kevin, I don't know who DJ is, but one love, man. Shout the Antiguans. So yeah. If a structure can be agreed with realistic add-ons that Shakhtar find acceptable, then there is a growing belief that the transfer saga could soon come to a successful conclusion for all parties, with Goal being told that a deal is now closer than it has ever been. Mudryk is currently with the rest of the Shakhtar squad at a training camp in Turkey, and the Ukrainian club are adamant that he will prepare as usual for the restart of their league campaign while talks with Arsenal continue. And that's cool. Leave it to your agent and Arsenal and the people them at Shakhtar. Keep training. It's in your best interest to keep training, keep working, and come to Arsenal in the best possible shape, because it might be a dream move. Reality is there's pressure for spots and we're trying to achieve things this season. Arsenal closing on Mudryk transfer with confidence over 80 million agreement. As we've seen, people, Shakhtar value Mudryk at 88 million. It's understood that Arsenal have now expressed a willingness to part with around 60 million up front. There's confidence that a deal worth a total of approximately 75 to 80 million can be struck, with the sticking point now being the add-ons involved. Shakhtar wants assurances over the structure of those bonuses and the probability that they can be met during Mudryk's time at Arsenal. As we know, Chelsea have also expressed an interest in signing the 22-year-old in January, but Arsenal remain confident they'll win the race due to the players' desire to join them. Once again, for the 50 millionth time, Mudryk is Mikel Arteta's #1 transfer target this month. And as you lot can see here, people, Ben Jacobs said, following direct back and forth since Monday, told there's some consensus over the guaranteed part of the fee. Arsenal still not at the 100 million euros in total package. Arsenal plan has always been to improve the structure and stick to their top-end valuation. Shakhtar have told Mudryk is business as usual, hence why he flew to the training camp in Turkey. But Arsenal are very optimistic. They still don't believe the final price will be as high as Shakhtar's public valuation, or view Chelsea in brackets, who haven't bid today, as a threat. The third offer, as Fabrizio Romano was first to report, was placed this evening and has a healthy guaranteed fee, not quite as high as 70 million euros, I am told, and no answer has yet been given. All parties expect to use this bid as a framework to try and verbally reach an agreement in principle. So less about a straight acceptance / rejection and more about verbally finessing things. Where I'm from, finessing, that word there, it makes me look at what's going on. Point to reiterate, dealing with Shakhtar is atypical, notoriously tough negotiators, and local knowledge is important when dealing with them. Arsenal expect this to drag on a bit, even with Mudryk dropping near daily Arsenal hints. That's why they haven't wavered in confidence, people. Con Marble Halls has said Arsenal pushing to get this through, should be wrapped up swiftly now with little to no more details to go through. Payment structure, final discussions, fee same as mentioned before, with more guaranteed, could be here for medicals, etc. before the Spurs game, and that would be lit. As mentioned 3 days ago, fee of around 77 million, still some fine details to go through, but almost certain Arsenal have got their man. Until he signed, who knows, people? Smash their like button. It is what it is in that regards, ain't it? So we're going to have to see how this develops. Continuing this, people, talks between Arsenal and Shakhtar are now centered around the proportion of the transfer fee, how much of it is paid up front and how much of it will be in add-ons. The expectation is that the initial payment for Mudryk will be more than 50 million, people, says everyone. Closing in on an agreement with Mudryk. Telegraph Sport understands Arsenal have indicated a willingness to agree a deal that could be worth around 75 to 80, including no add-ons. So it seems, or better yet, it appears, 50, 60 million up front, add-ons and all of those sort of things takes it to about 80. End of the day, if he wants to justify the price tag, the football's a simple game. Just play well, innit? Really and truly. What about Ndidi, Myth? Would that be a record for Shakhtar? You'd have to imagine so. You know, Fernandinho, Fred, Douglas Costa, Mkhitaryan. I don't know if I said Fernandinho, but you'd imagine these guys didn't cost as much as that. And as I said, when you look at the maths, he's got 70-odd career appearances. He's played 44 times for Shakhtar. To get 60, 80 million for him is a madness. And if we was to break it down a bit more, let's actually see how much top flight or Ukrainian top flight appearances he has, because it is a small case study. There's a lot of development young Mudryk will have to do. As much as I think he looks lit and I back him all the way, we have to kind of, I'm not saying water it down, because there's a, bro, they've been saying Ukrainian name or you're going to cost 80 million quid. There's an element of stuff you can't protect him from. But when you just go through the numbers, people, yeah, it looks sexy where the champ's concerned. And I'm not belittling his thing at all. 6 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. That's wavy, but that's 519 minutes. As I said, 44 times for Shakhtar. 12 goals, 17 assists, but he's played 44 times. He's played on 2 loan spells. He played 10 times for Arsenal Kiev and Dresdner. Yeah, Dresdner. He's played 11 times for them, innit? In terms of competitions, he's been capped 8 times by Ukraine. He's been capped, you know, he's played 38. So again, that's almost like if he signed in August and he played every game from now till May, that is his first season. So again, Arteta needs to know his strengths, but more importantly, his weaknesses, because how are you going to improve? So there's a lot of education my man has to do. Fortunately, he's in the right place because we're doing this youngster thing. No one's the finished article, excluding Partey, Xhaka, and El Nene, because what you kind of see is what you get. Kind of excluding Xhaka because he's kind of reworked how he plays, really. But then again, Wenger used to say Xhaka could play in this role, and we looked at him a bit funny. So it is what it is. And if I was to draw him out a bit more in a positive way, you're doing it in the Champions League and you have done well against Real Madrid, but man, expect you to do well against Leipzig and Celtic and that, really and truly. So you're going to have to, it all depends how you look at these things, people, but we need options. We need players with scope to be better than they are. You know, we need stronger defense. We need stronger offensive options. Bring that in it and let's go do this thing, in it, really. Like, what more can I say? Make it happen. Fabrizio Romano was the first to tweet about it. Arsenal have submitted a new bid for Mudryk in the last few hours. Parties are now getting closer. No breakthrough yet. Talks ongoing with Shakhtar. Arsenal still leading the race. No official bid from Chelsea as things stands. So that's how Chelsea fans are going to get out of it. Oh, we didn't bid. Big up Freddie Paxton. Arsenal's latest offer of 70 million euros. Add-ons takes the overall package much closer to the 100 million Shakhtar have held out for. Deal structure will be key, but it seems from Arsenal's side they're determined to get over the line. I hope so. I really do, because, you know, Edu's done good work in the transfer market, but we've also held some L's. And I hope it's not got shades of Pepe. One key thing Arsenal have always had on their side, Mudryk is completely sold on playing for the club. He wants to join his international teammates Zinchenko in North London, and allegedly it's never been in question. Once again, bonuses allegedly are seen as the final hurdle. There's even talk of a medical scheduled as well, people. The Londoners are pushing hard to finalize a deal this weekend and have put their medical team on standby for a medical if an agreement can be secured. So hopefully that's done. And I don't know who, well, we've got Man United in it. So in an ideal world, he'd be available for Man United. Well, in an ideal world, it'd actually be available for Spurs, but who knows? Again, I can't understand Ukrainian. Google Translate, you're going to help us out. Once again, Arsenal made a new offer to Shakhtar regarding the transfer of Mikhail Mudryk. The Londoners sent to the next club an improved offer to buy the player. There's been no official reaction from them yet. Obviously, our first 2 bids were rejected. At the same time, Mudryk himself has already agreed with the London club on the terms of a personal contract. According to Sports Arena, the parties previously discussed the ratio of guaranteed payment and bonuses for the Ukrainian football player. The London club wants bonuses to be a minimum of 30% of the total transfer amount. Shakhtar wants bonuses to be a maximum of 20%. So we'll have to see. Currently for Shakhtar, he's played 18 matches and scored 10 goals and got 8 assists, people. And, you know, we need that. Bring that. We've just spoken about Milinković-Savić. Again, it's antics for Mudryk. I'm here for it. You're doing all you can. Social media antics, but we're going to need a lot more than that to get things done. Going back to Milinković-Savić, Ben Jacobs allegedly said, I think Milinković-Savić has been on Arsenal and a number of clubs' radars for quite some time, but the challenge remains that Lazio have always been very reluctant to sell and the quoted fee has been quite high. I'd be surprised if it's not impossible, but I'd be surprised if a permanent transfer in January was possible. But I don't think that alone is unthinkable, except for the fact that time is ticking away and Lazio's position hasn't hugely changed. So it all depends, man, where you lot want to read things, people. Again, this was previously stated by a Ukrainian football coach. What can be said there? Mudryk wants to go to Arsenal and Arteta wants to create a Ukrainian connection. Mudryk and Zinchenko on the left flank. He'll play right away. Now, in this position at Arsenal, there's no one stronger than Mudryk. I hope so, because that raises the curtain of our team, or the ceiling better yet. No one will ever give 100 million for Mudryk, and do not draw a parallel with Antony here. He played so much for Ajax and proved himself there. And Mudryk is not yet a known footballer, a dark horse for Europe who shot this season in the Champions League. As for the transfer, I think the issue will be resolved at the end of January. And for the amount that Arsenal wants, the price will be quite decent, but far from what Shakhtar wants. The pitman can outplay themselves. If Mudryk is not sold to Arsenal now, they will not get such a sum for him again, allegedly, people. So, yeah, that's that. What is this? Apparently, Barcelona want to sell Rafinha, Ferran Torres, and Ansu Fati. And as usual, 3 clubs that tried to get him in the summer in Arsenal, Chelsea, and Spurs have allegedly been handed the opportunity. 55 million signed, 26 years of age. I mean, if you don't get Mudryk, I'd like both, but I feel we'll get Mudryk and maybe move towards another striker or leave that sort of region and go for a centre mid. If you could get him on loan with an option, why not? But Barcelona, we've got financial issues. You're bugging out if you think we're going to give you 55 million, regardless if he's Premier League proven and all of that jazz, really. You know, for Rafinha, would you want to give up on what's been your boyhood dream and stuff 6 months into it? I don't know. But if Barcelona want to cut their ties, then Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati and Rafinha would all be of interest, really. And we was Rafinha's third choice. He wanted Barca, then he wanted Chelsea, and then us. So I think, like Vlahovic, the boat sailed, but you never know, really and truly, in this life, people. You really never know. Should we see if there's any other publications saying anything away from stuff? We've kind of seen this already. Shout out the Gaffer and Odegaard. Boy, everything's just going wavy for us, ain't it? AC Milan are allegedly interested in Rafinha as well, people. So draw whatever conclusions you expect to draw there. Previously in the summer, you know, we did hear Edu speak about signing Rafinha. I just said this was in July. I just said to Deco, can you explain to me the situation with Rafinha? He was clear. Edu, we have a good relationship. I'm not going to lie to you. His idea is to go to Barcelona because he's dreaming to go to Barcelona. We've been talking to Barcelona since a long time ago, and it does look like a bullet dodged at this moment in time for all fans. You know, Arsenal and Chelsea fans hate each other. We always link up to get at Rafinha. I think, okay, thank you very much. If something happens, then just let me know because I can explore and understand the situation. If not, no problem. We carry on with our relationship. The one thing I don't like about Rafinha, and I'm not one of them guys, if you can play on the right, you can play on the left. Martinelli's shown he can, remember Old Trafford a couple of years ago, he can play on the left, play on the right. Saka the same. Mudryk the same, from the limited knowledge. And, you know, a couple of other adaptable players. Rafinha looks a completely different player on that left-hand side to the right, and he's been deployed on the left a few times for Barcelona, and obviously he's behind Dembele. So that would, at 26 years of age, if the youngest them can do it, 26 years of age, what you see is what you get, people. So I don't know, but for what it's worth, according to Spanish television show, yeah, Rafinha is one of 3 players shortlisted by Barca as they seek to once again continue balancing their finances. Ferran Torres, a signing from Manchester City 12 months ago, and rather surprisingly, Ansu Fati are also available. Rafinha has struggled for form in La Liga and even publicly hit out at head coach Xavi over his perceived misuse of the Brazilian. He prefers to play on the right wing, cutting inside on his left foot, but he has often been used on the left of a 3-man attack. Yes, I told Xavi, I think he got it. I want to help the team as much as possible. I told him that I wasn't helping the team on the left. He has 2 goals in 15 La Liga games and hasn't started too many, but you never know. He's relearning football. You know, the big fish in the small pond antics at Leeds is not going to cut it at Barcelona. I don't mind competing with Osimhen on the right. I like that competition, but I'd like to compete in my place where I feel more comfortable at the moment. Xavi then said he is open to playing where necessary. In fact, we talked a couple of weeks ago. Bro, Xavi's probably saying, who's this guy? I've seen Ronaldinho, Messi, all of these guys. You know, who are you, blood? Like, I don't know. You was at Leeds for a couple minutes and Rennes. You can't tell me anything. You play well. You're lucky that I bought you. It's going to be important. It's been even more so coming off the bench. He always comes out well. It's going to be important. I have no doubts. I think he will get it right. I like to back people in it, but truthfully, who knows? What's this? See what Arsenal transfer news thing is saying. This looks meaty. Where's the goal? Where's goal.com's Arsenal transfers thing, man? Where is it? Let's see if we've been linked with anything else, people. Lie to me, man. Jude Bellingham settings or something, man. I love this positivity around our club. Arsenal have submitted a bid worth 70 million euros for Mudryk, allegedly. Admittedly, tired of that. Arsenal still in the hunt to sign Vlahovic. Yeah, right. You know, it seems like that one's gone. But Arsenal is once again interested in signing Serbian striker Vlahovic. The Gunners have been heavily linked to the young goal machine, and it looks like the club could make a move for him in the upcoming summer. The old lady Ford is pushing for a move away from the Turin and is eager to join the current Premier League leaders. I've seen statements about discussing Mudryk's shirt numbers, 30 like 11. I don't care what he wears. You need to sign for the club first, my guy, man. Do you expect Shakhtar to respond today? I don't know, man. Arsenal got finesse, but if we win the league, I won't care. You have to overpay to a degree. Club record signing, it's happening surely. Good afternoon, my guy. I'm saying that this will be finished tonight. I hope so. Arsenal need more signings, but he's played in more Champions League games than our club. Amen. Rice would be perfect. We're really banking on potential, but at the end of the day, any transfer is a risk. Amen. Either way, he's a baller. I'm happy we're finally acting like a big club. Amen. Rafinha and Vlahovic crying, wishing they had just picked us. Brazy, man. I mean, Juventus was Vlahovic's dream. Rafinha, Barca was your dream. It can turn into a nightmare, but I'll never banter someone about their dream not quite happening. But boy, it looks crazy. Tossart seems to be doing the mercenary thing, and he's been banished from Brighton training. Apparently, we've joined the race to go in for him. We've spoken about Milinković-Savić. Allegedly, we're keeping tabs on Eric Garcia. A few days ago, they said we made contact for Eden Hazard. Hazard's a phenomenal player on his day. 32, barely playing at Real Madrid, injury prone, going to sign for big wages, or it'd be a big loan fee if we got him. Does not make sense, really and truly. The fact that even Chelsea are not trying. Well, Chelsea went and got João Felix. They went to Madrid for João Felix. They didn't try and bring my man back home. Anyways, we've been linked with Balde, the left back at Barca. Don't quite believe that. And we're probably going a bit too far. But Ivan and Ndika apparently were among the front runners as we look to get him on a free transfer. El Nene is of interest to Aston Villa and former coach Una Emre. Gunners in contact with Milinković-Savić, his agent. So where the transfer news is concerned, people, you know, that was a lengthy one. Why? But it seems like that is it really and truly with you guys, people. So we'll have to see how that develops, man. DG, why you're not with Ransom Matisse? Because they're gonna start at one, which they are, and I need to get out of it, people. I couldn't do yesterday, and I've got something to do, so it's gonna cross over really. But shout out the guys. I won't be there this week or next week, but we're back again in normal circumstances. 95 likes. Why on earth would Lazio let Savić go? They are fighting for top 3/4. Again, they'd be probably silly to let him go in January, which is why I said I think it's a summer thing. Goal is a media article. I don't take them, man, seriously. Partey, Saliba, and Saka get injured, then boy, I'm hoping Mudryk can provide backup in those positions as well. Arsenal focusing so much on my man, we're forgetting we've got depth issues. I hear that. I think a midfielder. I would love a central midfielder. I honestly feel we dodged a bullet with Rafinha. I think everyone, Chelsea, Arsenal, and even Spurs fans believe that. But I'm not going to write a man off after 6 months or his first season. If he is still at Barcelona, then you've got until October of this year to show me something, really. Because, as I said, I think he's a bit like Grealish. He's going through a re-education. You might, at Villa, respectfully, and at Leeds, you might pick up the ball on the halfway line, dance past 10 man, shoot, hit the post, and they might praise you for that, them sides. At Barcelona, where almost everyone can do that, and being a great technical footballer isn't necessarily great because everyone's got that. It's a re-education. What I would say is it stinks up the place for Brazil and Barca, so it does look like a dodged bullet. But he could have, would we be saying that? We probably wouldn't if he was lit for Barcelona right now. A bit like Mudryk and any other new signings, just play well and it's calm. João Felix spent 55 minutes with Havertz and Mount, and for effort, I'm going Bista. You lot are childish, man. Jesus has got more Champions League goals than Mudryk has appearances. He's definitely got potential, but at the point I'm making is he's a baby in this team. We can't expect consistency from man right away. Amen. 100 million is just a blatant waste of money on an unproven player. I hear it, man. Keep your opinions going. To me, he was worth 40 million, but I'm always prepared to pay 20 above if they really want the player. Everyone's gonna have to overpay. You know, at the end of the day, they know. I'm not saying it's gonna be right or wrong, but at the end of the day, everyone knows. Pardon me, that the Premier League has money. You have to overpay. Do you really think Southampton, you know, Liverpool wanted to buy Van Dijk from Southampton for that much? It just worked. Same goes for Alisson. Same goes for half of these guys, really and truly. You really think we wanted to pay, as great as Benjamin White's been for us, you really think we wanted to pay 50 million for Benjamin White at the time where he only had one full season to his name in the Premier League? It comes with it. You pay, they work out, nobody cares. In my opinion, anyways. Somebody said Fatty over both. Same, man. If he could get through his injury problem, man, the thing that scares me about Fatty is he's got terrific potential to be one of the best players in the world, but injuries might shag him. DG mentioned 2 signings. If Mudryk is first, who's your second? No clue, but if you said you could only have 2 signings, then for me, I'd like a central midfielder over a striker, slightly. Barca rebalancing their finances, that is to say moving money from one brown bag to another to make sure they weigh the same. I hear that. You're not necessarily wrong. We need 3 players. I don't care if we need to spend 200 million. A title competing team has got to show ambition. Mudryk alone is a failure. Mudryk alone is a failure of a window, and if that happens, Kroenke out. Imagine Mudryk turns into Pepe 2.0. Sorry, bro, I'm not convinced. I mean, he's no idiot. Arsenal no idiots. They're just going to have to prove people wrong. If he doesn't work out, we sit there and we think about what's gone wrong, really. Simple as that. And we ask questions. I hope it does work out, because in the last 18 months or 2 summer windows where we've done our business, the signings have been all right. Obviously, the Tomiyasu, Zinchenko's, Gabriel Jesus, Benjamin White, Aaron Ramsdale, anybody else I'm missing out in that regards as well. But we have taken some else. Cedric didn't bang. Marie did not bang. Willian, even though he scored yesterday against Chelsea, which tells you where they're at as a club, did not bang for us and was kind of costly. Giving Aubameyang that new deal and what followed didn't bang. So when it comes to this money thing, I'm looking at it a bit funny. Fair enough, Pepe isn't really anything to do with Arteta or Edu. Signings are going to go wrong. You know, signings go wrong. Not anyone that says they've got 100% success rate, it's a myth. It's like if you was going to invest money, I don't know, if you went to the bank and you was trying to go into an investment fund and you're speaking to the hedge manager and the hedge manager says, I've never lost a trade on a stock. I've never lost. Would you believe them? Because you ain't done it enough then. Come on. If it doesn't hit, I'm looking at the scouts funny. Amen. I still really want Douglas Luiz. Think he's the closest player to Partey in terms of style of play. Looks like the bolt's gone. You can never rule out things, but he signed a new deal, so he must be happy at Villa, and he's going to cost a lot more P's, man. So if Arteta still wants him and they're able to get it done, then hell, why not get it done? But at the same time, that one's finished, isn't it, really? Like, that boat sailed, and it appears that Telemans, 1 minute we're on him, then we're leaving him alone. It looks like the Danilo one, we're leaving him alone. And Douglas Luiz is mad. Mudryk is asking for 320k a week. Again, I don't know if that's true, and I don't think he's in a position to do that. That would make him our highest earner. The Pepe one wasn't even a signing the manager wanted at the time, so I wouldn't put this in the same category. And Pepe was a bookie money laundering thing, as we all know. I mean, he's saying Raul Sanye got paid. I already see that. Come on, shout the Nightbot, shout the Nightbot. 4:30, we're playing Football Manager, people. Don't forget as well, in relation to other content in the days that follow, we will be watching an hour before kickoff the North London derby, Tottenham against Arsenal, and we'll obviously be watching the Manchester derby. What I actually need to do is go on YouTube, because lately, whenever I'm putting the name Mudryk in my videos, you're seeing nonsense. Okay, that appears fine. One love to everyone who's hit that like button, by the way. Keep Telemans away from us. Why? What's wrong with Telemans? What about Declan Rice? I mean, it comes down to the bread, and West Ham, unless you put down something that's really too good to reject, and again, West Ham season's a bit meaty, you need your key players. That is a summer thing. We need 2 more signings, but Arsenal, we will sign just 1. Trust me. And in life, never trust someone who says trust them, you know. So I don't know if I could trust you, man. I'm sure you're a cool guy, man. I'm sure you are a cool guy. I'm trying to see if there's any other news, but I don't know about any of that, my dude. Nothing new there. Don't seem like there's anything necessarily new. If you're talking about the Napoli one, Chase Gold, which I can't pronounce his name, he looks lit, man. Until you see it on Arsenal.com, nothing's confirmed. Arsenal needs squad depth, as you saw at Newcastle. Amen. Bro, come on, man. Again, I can't rule out anything because I'm not in the negotiating room, but think logically. Someone that's played 44 times for Shakhtar, 8 times for Ukraine, somewhat a largely unknown quantity in football. He will definitely double, maybe even triple his wages. You really think he's going to get 300 odd grand a week at Arsenal Football Club, being pipped above Saliba, Saka, Thomas Partey, and all these other guys? Obviously, if they do that, then that's going to complicate the negotiations you already have for Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, and anyone else. It could happen, and I only say it could because I'm not involved in the transfer negotiations, but really, someone that scratched the surface. I mean, his agent would have pulled a blinder, and that's why agents are here. But really, you really believe that? Fair enough. I'll tell you what to think. Just think, as I always say. I cannot wait to see Mudryk. I don't think we all share the same thing, man. At the same time, at this point, I just want to see. I want to stop talking about it now. Like, I just want to see you holding the shirt. Been an Arsenal fan my whole life. Me and Zinchenko were messaging each other, you know, taking pictures with the pen at London Coley, with Edu, Arteta, and Vinay next to them. Maybe even Richard Garlick and Josh Kroenke. Just get it done, man. Just get it done. Personal terms agreed. I don't reckon it'll be more than 70k. Reportedly, if he comes, his salary will be 35 to 40k. Is it confirmed or not? Do you see it on Arsenal.com? Do you see him holding a red shirt? Repeat myself at this point. Get Kudus and Kone from Gladpack. That's it. And still have change from this Mudryk hype thing. I mean, Kone is a decent little player. And so is Kudus, as he showed at the World Cup, man. So make it happen. If you can make it happen, man, who wouldn't want all of these guys and all these fantastic players and stuff? 126 likes, people. Thank you very much for doing such as well, by the way. But for me, I just hope we sign a central midfielder, man. Like, I just really want a centre midfielder because, you know, if something happens to Partey, you rob Xhaka of what Xhaka brings. And if something happens to Xhaka, you somewhat rob Partey. El Nene can come in and plug a gap, and he has my confidence. El Nene is a bit of, Lokonga, sorry, is a bit of a loose cannon that I believe in. But if we're just focused on 3 points, keeping up this consistency and the harshness of football, then at this moment, Lokonga, you need to keep holding bench until you show something otherwise. For me personally, I'm kind of on what I think he was injured at, like, ironically, Lokonga, but I'm on what Arteta did at Wolves away. Fabio Vieira, Odegaard, one of Smith Rowe, Zinchenko, these kind of guys as 8s before Lokonga at this moment in time until I see anything, because I don't know what you are, Lokonga. Are you an 8? Are you a 6? Are you box to box? Can I get a certain level of confidence? Do you look confident in yourself? Really believe in Lokonga, but there's certain realities that you need to get with it now, man. You know, you're 23, turning 24 this year. You're still young enough to have a career, but as Wenger said, at 23, you kind of have to be coming into your own, really. And as I did in a previous video, let me find these comments were in relation to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at the time. Arson, let me find this. These were in relation to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at the time, people. But if we isolate it from his comments on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's done well at Liverpool to, you know, patting up his trophy cabinet, but has he really improved that much as a player? I'm sure Liverpool fans loosely have had the same conversation we've had around Ox. Is he a winger? Is he a fullback? Is he a centre mid? Can he do a bit of both? You need to be versatile in today's day and age. But, you know, it's about what you can do first. Like, Martinelli's clearly a winger that can play up front. Zinchenko's clearly a central midfielder that can put in a shift at left back. You know, Mo Salah's clearly a winger that can clearly play up front for Liverpool, and several other examples of that. But, you know, this could actually apply to Lokonga, people. He's now 23, and at 23, you become a football player who is the finished article. Before 23, you learn your job. At 23, you become more consistent. You know what's expected of you. You know how to deal with the pressure, with the situation, with the competition inside the squad. These first 2 paragraphs, that could apply to Lokonga. And what I would say, has he become more consistent? Does he know what's expected of him? I'd say yes. Arteta probably tells you that. Does he know how to deal with pressure? I don't necessarily think so, beyond the obvious of him being a professional footballer. So that could apply to Lokonga. So I'll back Lokonga like I'll back everyone. There's a talented lad in there, but it needs to show out now. Or in the summer, you need to go on loan. And if you do what you do on loan, some people make it back from a loan spell, some don't. But put yourself in the shop window either to Arteta long term or keep it moving. But hopefully from now to the end of the season, you can do a thing, man. Lokonga is not a 6 but an 8. Okay, if he is an 8, then big him up. But until I see anything more, is he better than Xhaka in that role? Would he give more than Zinchenko, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, or Fabio Vieira in that role? You know, does he control the tempo of a game a bit better than them? Does he show for the ball enough? Does he recycle possession to the level of these sort of players? So if he is an 8, which I hope you can define yourself, but boy, it's looking fugazi. I'm not gonna cap. It's looking really fugazi. We should have kept Willock over Lokonga now because would have missed out on 30 million. Is Mudryk coming and have we given up on Telemans? I don't know if we've given up on Telemans, but until he's holding his shirt, everything's subjective. I'd prefer a midfielder and a striker on loan for the price, but it ain't my money. You know we can't sign Messi. Come on. After Nottingham Forest paid 50 million for Morgan Gibbs Wise, prices went out the window. Bro, certain man spent 50 million on Sigurdsson. Where is that guy? Really and truly. Where is that guy? So we'll have to see. Crazy. I want Almiron. Big up Almiron, but you keep beefing Jack Grealish over them sides, man. Bless up, Pat. Souček. Nah, G. He's decent, but nah, G. Ox would do well in the wing-back role. He might do, but again, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, man, is he a centre mid? Is he a winger? Is he a fullback? What is he? And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's been around for time now. You know, it feels like he's permanently 19 in my book, but he's 29. Had a great career, won several things between Arsenal and Liverpool, played for his country, you know, following on what his dad did. But what are you? That Savić still seems unreal. If it's true, madness. Lokonga is definitely more of a 6 deep line playmaker, in my opinion, than a box-to-box 8, but he hasn't shown the range of passing that he did in the beginning. And that's why I think if he patterns his confidence, you will see a much better player, but you're going to need to do it. And I'm not saying he doesn't believe in himself, but if you don't believe in yourself, Mikel Arteta can't believe in you. The fans can't believe in you. So it all depends. I mean, prices went out the window a long time ago. The maddest thing I've got to do is ask is how was Lokonga ever captain for a professional football club? I'm struggling for answers. It's mad harsh, man. I'll back him, but yeah. Joe Linton, more the kind of player I'd like, energy inside. Nah. Big up him for reconverting to a centre mid, then he's doing his thing, but nah. Shout Joe Linton, but allow me. I'm not really on that still. Do we need a Partey sub and a Xhaka sub? We need long-termism for them guys, like we have in defence and up front. We've got to sell Cedric, Tavares, and Lokonga. Lokonga ain't it. He won't make it. He's positionally bad. It's over from there, in my opinion. You'd imagine Tavares is being put in the shop window. And again, for all his goals and all these things, and I'm liking the confidence he's getting at Marseille, not quite the red cards, but nobody in January has ever come to me and said, yo, he had a great game 1v1 defensively. And he's had some all right games defensively. But you lot can all see them clips on Twitter. Yo, he scored. He banged it with his right foot. When has he shut up someone defensively? That's the problem with Tavares. I know you can attack. You was a failed winger like all us fullbacks are. I know you can go forward. What else can you do? Can you defend? If he woke up one day and could defend competently, Tavares has everything to be a very decent left back, but he doesn't have that. And he's a liability at this moment in time based on what he's shown at Arsenal. Away from home, Crystal Palace, Old Trafford, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest where we're all collapsed, Man United away. He goes to sleep. And there has been some good ones. Cedric, the writing's on the wall, innit? Lokonga, you signed a long-term deal, innit? I don't want to give up on you yet, but listen, as I said, if you could bring in some midfielders, we ain't got time to waste, really. People need to put down spots. If Saka was messing about, you'd find yourself probably like with what's going on with Reece Nelson and all of these things. We're not got time to waste, and the better we get, the margins for errors are gone. DG, honestly, looking at Mudryk, is he all about pace and power, or is his technical ability up there? I think he looks very smart, likes to play 1-2s and that. I think he tries to do too much a lot of the time. I do think his game is centered on pace. But I do like him. I do think there's multiple layers to him. Lokonga is like a deer in the headlights, as I've previously said as well. No confidence, really wanted him to do well, but I don't see it happening. Hope he proves me wrong. And that's why, you know, for me, I hope he does well from now to the end of the season, somehow stake in a place. Or if not, you need to go out on loan. Like if Burnley got promoted to the Premier League, for example, go link up your former manager company. And he said you're Yaya Toure, so make us see this Yaya Toure stuff. Tavares 30 million, Balogun 35, Lokonga 15. We need to collect in the summer. Well, I'm not too sure about 30 for Tavares, you know. I'd loan out Lokonga before selling him, unless someone said, you know what, we're going to give you your bread back and you lot can keep it moving, personally. But what do I know? I'm not in charge of no transfers. So it kind of is what it is in that regard. We need a defensive midfielder and a left centre back who can also play left back so that Zinni can move into midfield or have the option of moving into midfield. I'm Icelandic. He's not in Iceland, hasn't been allowed in since the case started. So, yeah, Sigurdsson's doing some brazy things. And, you know, we don't condone any of that. If we can't spend money bringing in more players, we can bring back Pepe. I mean, that's got to have been one of the options. And isn't Pepe technically Nice's top goal scorer, really? Nicolas Pepe, you know what? Unless you did an absolute madness, it seems like it doesn't matter what you do. Arteta's not. You're just not Arteta's guy, really, for whatever reason. I'm not criticizing Arteta or anything, but you don't seem like his guy. But I think every Arsenal fan sits there and goes, what, if Pepe was here, could it be that bad? I think he's got 8 goals in 22, and I think I saw something online that he's their top goal scorer. But I don't know. And he got 2 against Montpellier. I didn't watch it. I've got it recorded. I'll watch it later. But when they won 6-1 against Montpellier, he got 2 goals in their latest game. So you have to draw whatever conclusions you want. But the Pepe thing's myth. Would like Balogun loaned one more time. I think we shouldn't panic with Balogun. I think all options should be on the table. I think indirectly, you know, in the next 12 months or so between now and then, he's probably going to have to sign a renewed deal, contracted until 2025, retain our strong negotiating position. You know, he's got 10 goals for Reims. By God's grace, he keeps going. Loan into a Premier League team, maybe keep him at Reims. Maybe he comes back for pre-season. You show Arteta what you can and can't do. And, you know, we're doing this youngster thing. You're a young player from Hayland. You should back yourself and return more confident. I think we should be open to loaning him out, selling him permanently, or bringing him back in the squad. I think it's far too early. But what I would say is not everyone has to make it here. Some people you could do the, not saying Balogun, but sell them for decent fees. They might go on and be even better in the future, but we need to get better at selling, especially the Hayland talents and the academy prospects, because while we're spending money and we have money, we're not going to do what you're seeing Chelsea attempting to do since their new owners. We haven't really got that. We can't spend 100 million. Well, we can, but we're not going to spend a consistent 100 million on Grealish, 80 or whatever on Haaland and things like that. So it is what it is. If we can, we should keep Balogun. Kids mad talented, but not everyone can make it a top championship team or lower Prem half. I don't think I want to see Balogun back in the championship, admittedly. You go to one of the top 5 divisions somewhere, ideally the Prem. Pep's time is over. We need to seriously address our midfield. It's like we always forget. We could do with Pepe for the sub. But I don't think Arteta. I think Arteta admires Pepe's talent and he's shown he'll play him. But I just think it's all the other facets of the game across the 90 minutes that Arteta is not convinced with. And he's a bit of a wild one, Pepe. Like as a manager, sometimes it's not always how great your players can be, because Pepe is one of the most talented players contracted to Arsenal. But it's what you're doing when you're not necessarily doing that. And I think there's a certain level Saka, Martinelli will give you in terms of all the other facets of the team and many others that Pepe wouldn't. You know, one game that I'm sure it was either Villa away or Leicester away. It was one of them Premier League games. We've got the lead, backs are against the wall, getting to the closing embers of the game. And my man's giving away bare free kicks, just moving mad. Pepe should be a case study, because honestly, I don't think there's one single reason as to why it went wrong. I think there's several. I think obviously previous regime, you know, bought him and then he wasn't really used. I think he is a bit hot and cold. I don't necessarily think to a degree he was given a full opportunity. There's many things really and truly. At times, I don't think he's playing with a good enough right back behind him. The team obviously wasn't healthy, but again, I do think Pepe played within himself. I do think that talent wasn't the minimum. Like, it doesn't matter how talented you are, it's about doing it consistently. I don't know him as a person, but I don't you seem a real complacent character, a real joyous guy. It's like it's not that you're trying to, but it's not like for me, it's like he necessarily comprehends how short a football career is, and you're good, but you could be great in some aspects. I'm not saying that means Ballon d'Or and all that crap, but yeah, man, not the right system, all of these things. We should sound. I think you mean Paulinho from Fulham. Don't think that's gonna happen. This Arsenal, Arteta said super Why? I don't know about that. Pepe is clear of Marquinhos, Reece and Vieira, but Arteta don't want him. And I mean, he is. I mean, Vieira's not a winger, to be fair to you. Reece Nelson, he's better than Reece, whose days might be numbered. Nelson's always, anyone that will listen, I want to sign a new contract. Nobody more than me wants it to happen for Reece Nelson. I've got a lot of love for that boy, but at the same time, we're going one way. You know, people develop at different rates, but we haven't really got time to waste because the competition for places is getting harder and harder and harder and harder. For Marquinhos, maybe if Mudryk was in or we had a winger in the summer, he probably would have gone on loan in Jan sooner. come on the stream, popping off. Big up DG, appreciative, man. It's all because of you lot. It's fantastic to have you lot's talking points, etc. There would be no point being here, man. So very appreciative of all of you lot tuned in, man. All I'm seeing is Milinković-Savić. Is that true that Arsenal are back in for him based on the reports we read? But again, and the dream is free. The Arsenal is sold separately. It's easy for us to all make websites and say that sources have said Arsenal this and that and the other, because Edu and Arteta and every other club, they're not consistently going to come out and say we're not in for him, we're not in for this. So yeah, I think Reece is better than Pepe. I hear that. Listen, I'd rather Nelson make it than Pepe, but I can't lie to you. I think if you look at both of them, Pepe's better than him, bro. Let's respect Pepe's thing a bit, how he helped us win a couple trophies, and he did go through patches of brilliance, and for all his frustration, he did do some mad moments. I don't think Nelson's done that. Let's respect him a bit. Bro, people don't realize Savić was born in Spain. You don't even know his thoughts on the whole Serbia-Albania thing. I mean, Kay, there is that with the Xhaka thing, but yeah, he you know, like I said, he's of Serbian descent, plays for Serbia. As you said, born in Spain, spent time at Genk. I think he actually spent time in Portugal, but yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know about Reece Nelson better than Pepe. Big up Reece. But yeah, maybe because... fair enough, Nelson's a bit part player, but at least Arteta sat there and said, yo, you can be involved. I don't know for Pepe, really. And it sucks a bit because obviously when Nelson got his injury, he got his 2 goals off the bench against, I can't remember in the Prem, but it seemed like he could do something here. And I mean, but one has to believe Nelson's time's kind of up. I hope not, but you know, getting a bit overstocked. If we put an asterisk next to Fabio Vieira's name, who probably at 8 and a 10 but can play out wide, asterisk for Fabio Vieira, who has played out wide for Arsenal, Mudryk, asterisk assuming that happens, Saka, Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, who can play a bunch of roles, and there, Jesus, who actually can play out wide as well as up front. And if you bring in another striker, that's something to consider. And just in terms of an attacker, if you throw in Eddie Nketiah as well, that's 7. And also if you throw in Balogun now, again, they don't all play in the same position, but there's only a certain amount of attack. There's only a certain amount of games. There's only a certain amount of attackers you can have on the bench. And at Arsenal right now, we need some attackers. You know, our bench would look a lot better if Mudryk signed tomorrow. We woke up and Reece Nelson, Smith-Rowe, Jesus were all fully fit, because whether it's going to be Eddie or Jesus, someone's going to be on the bench, and we're going to have someone that can come on. Ironically, like Eddie, one of his best games for me, while he's done well in his starts, Fulham at home where he could have scored, but he was really good off the bench. So, yeah, it feels like a couple guys' days are kind of numbered, if I'm completely honest with you. And it happens. Not everyone's going to make that, man. Some Nelson might have to leave to be the best him. He's, 22 odd? Probably been at Arsenal since 8 or so years of age. Bro, it's been a large part of your life. I understand the reluctance not to let it go, really. And I want Nelson to make it here, but I want my club to do well. Mate, we shouldn't go for Savić just because of Xhaka. They're literal enemies. I don't know about any of that. I'm not going to get drawn on, you know, the geopolitical things. Thoughts on Balogun getting linked away, would you say? I mean, it's testament that AC Milan and Inter are in for you. I mean, he's a young striker, so there's an element of selling too early. But if Arsenal brought in a different striker of a different profile to Eddie Nketiah and Jesus, that's as good, or if not better, and you take that 30, 40 million sell-on clause, reinvest that, then it is what it is. I'm kind of on that. Part of me wants to make sure Balogun gets a new deal. We're in 2023. He's contracted until 2025. Pardon me. Get a new deal, protect us a bit, you know, loan him out again, because he's got 10 league goals now. Can you go on and do more? Then if you get 10 or plus league goals, wherever you go on loan next year, whether you stay at Reims, which I wouldn't necessarily be against, you join a better French team, or you join a you know, whatever in the top 5, can you do it again? Because this is your first standout season, just like Saka, Smith-Rowe, and Martinelli this year, but Saka and Smith-Rowe this year following last year. Yeah, you got double figures for goals and assists. Can you do it again? Can that now become the minimum? You know, can that now become what we can expect of you versus an anomaly of a season, one standout thing? Is Ainsley just alone? Yeah, on my life, I forgot Ainsley Maitland-Niles was here. Seems like the beginning of the end there. Balogun and 40 million for Leao. Dream chasing. No confirmation until Sky Sports and Arsenal confirm Mudryk. Tell him again. I believe the signing of Mudryk can motivate Pepe to give it one last shot on the right. Hope Arteta gives him one last shot. It's done, bro. It's done. I'm not in a position to say it's done, but it's done, bro. Pepe's done. It's over. It's over, man. I feel like it was Eddie's plan all along to trick Chelsea into getting Felix. I get it. He's quality, but is he really going to be worth the money? I don't think so for 6 months at all. I hope you're right, my guy. Nelson is a victim of bad luck. Imagine Martinelli would have faced the same fate till Aubameyang got sidelined. I don't know, man. Remember all those rumors about Xhaka and Savić? There were similar ones about Laka and Oba. They weren't true. To be fair, there wasn't geopolitical things with Aubameyang and Lacazette. But yeah, man. People need to not follow the disrespect of Pepe. Yes, he's been hot and cold, but clearly better than Nelson. Remember, at one point, Pepe held up Arsenal. Amen. Good afternoon from my side. Daniel, big up yourself. What's the latest about the Mudryk deal? We're moving closer, but it's not. I's haven't been dotted, T's haven't been crossed. He's not holding a shirt. Apparently, we're prepared to give more up front. The last final bit of the deal seems to be around bonuses. Evidently, of course, he has to have his medical, and barring no spanners in the work during the medical, then you'll be an Arsenal player. When that happens, if that happens, it's still in the balance. No sentiment. Let him leave. We need to level up. I'm hearing that. I hope that Jesus returns back soon. I'm already missing him. I think all us Arsenal fans are. Not a good sign if we go for Savić. This would create internal issues, which may end up becoming chaotic. I mean, again, I don't want to get hung up on this, but obviously, Granit Xhaka plays for Switzerland, right? And I'm, whether it's Kosovo, them kind of regions there. Again, I don't have any examples, but I'm pretty sure, and you can think what you think, pretty sure there's been a Serbian lad and people like Granit Xhaka and Shaqiri's descent playing in the same team. They're just going to have to get on with it. And I'm not talking on what they're going through, but I wouldn't just necessarily, it is something to consider, but I wouldn't necessarily rule it out just because of that, if I'm completely honest with you. But it's something to consider. I wish he could play against Tottenham. I think we all do. People forget that Pepe and Oba got Arteta's FA Cup win, but fundamentally Pepe looks done at Arsenal. Which I'll always back anyone. I hope he can get out of it. 173 likes. Can we get to 200 people? I'll back anyone, but sometimes you just have to face reality, really and truly. It's a myth. It looks a myth. It would have been nice to have Pepe on the bench because we haven't really had too many guys, but for one reason or another, I don't think we're ever going to find out or know if why it hasn't worked out specifically here, but it's a myth, man. It's done, bro. It's over. Again, I'd love to wake up one day and it's not. I'd love to wake up and Ainsley and Nelson and Pepe, all the outs and Lokonga even, who I really want Lokonga to do a thing, but sometimes you just have to face reality, man. You can't have it all. Not everyone's going to be on this journey. Some people are going to get to a point. Who knows? Arsenal trying to become a consistent Champions League qualifying beyond certain players that play week in, week out now for us and we love them. We might have to be cruel to them to be kind to ourselves and level up. We can't be sentimental for no reason. And you can't be ridiculously harsh at the same time. Arteta wins Premier League Manager of the Month. Again, he has won the Premier League Manager of the Month award for November and December after guiding us to 4 victories from 4 games over the period, people. It's his second award of the campaign. He did win it in August, and it's his 4th success during his time as a manager. We enjoyed a 100% record in 2 months, either side of the World Cup, beating Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham and Brighton to finish 2022 in style. And with that, he came ahead of Thomas Frank, Eddie Howe and Jurgen Klopp, people. Martin Odegaard also bagged that as well. So it is what it is. If you had £100, I don't know who you're going to get for £100. Is there any news on Pepe? What news, man? What news? He's doing what he's doing. He scored twice in the 6-1 win for Nice against Montpellier. That's about it. DJ, I like Mudryk, but wouldn't you personally spend that fee on an elite midfielder? If you could get it done in January, why not, man? No, Rice will have 1 year left in the summer. 50 million bid, probably should do it, but probably Chelsea will bid also. It's a lot of money, but Mudryk just going to listen. If Mudryk does the business, nobody cares about your price tag. If you don't, we're going to have to talk about it. Mate, what's your thoughts on the Japanese breakthrough lad, Mitoma? He looks decent, but I swear he's like 25. To describe him as a breakthrough, which I'm not saying you necessarily, but people have, I don't really get it. Man, I'm talking like he's 17, 18. Doesn't look like there's any updates on Declan Rice to Arsenal, apart from apparently there's an admiration for Arsenal with him. And apparently City, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea will do him for him. He looks like my opinion, he goes back to Cobham. It seems like he's got that dream of linking up with Mason Mount, and apparently he wants to stay in London. But for what it's worth, let's just type in Mason Mount Arsenal and see what comes up. Nothing really. But we did see, you lot would have to check out my playlist, people. We did kind of go over that. Where is it? All right, let's go with this. This seems to be the latest sort of any article linking into us if it opens. Okay, there you have it. For what it's worth, just to humour you lot, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Arsenal lining up summer move for Declan Rice. Arsenal reportedly preparing to make an official offer for the West Ham captain Declan Rice during the summer's transfer window. I'm trying to read two things at once. The 23-year-old stayed with the Hammers last summer, despite the speculation surrounding his future, with Chelsea, Manchester United, and Liverpool all believed to be keen on his signature. Rice is widely expected to move on in 2023. Though, especially with David Moyes' side currently struggling towards the bottom of the Premier League. While away with England, the midfielder suggested that he wants to leave West Ham in the near future in order to challenge for major trophies. 100%, I want to play in the Champions League. For the last 2 or 3 years, I've been saying that. I've been playing consistently well for my club, and I feel like I really want to keep pushing. I see my friends here who are playing Champions League and for big trophies. You only get one career, and at the end, you want to look back at what you've won and the biggest games you played in. I really want to do that. Allegedly, Arsenal have emerged as genuine contenders for Rice. Mikel Arteta is pushing for the club to complete his signature during the summer transfer window. The report claims that West Ham valued the midfielder at 88 million quid, 100 million euros, which is a significant drop on the 150. With him being contracted until 2024, they're going to have to be a bit more flexible in that regards. West Ham actually have an option, I never knew that, to extend his deal by another year, which would take him until 2025. So he's probably going to have to, the captain's probably going to have to make it a bit ugly. I didn't know he had an option of another year. So that actually strengthens West Ham's hand really and truly. So we'll have to see really. But there's probably an acceptance that for the last couple of years that he will move on. Pelisteri wants out of Manchester United. Should we go for him? I don't know if that's true. Mudryk is a real deal regardless. Prices in the transfer market are no longer what they used to be. I mean, we don't know if he's a real deal or a flop. He's just going to have to go and do that. But I agree with you. No, we're just talking about Pepe in general. Would you rather sign a player for 80 million than someone for free on massive wages like Kolasinac? I mean, that is on the negotiation team because Kolasinac's agent played a blinder. Vieira's a very talented lad. Been a minute since I caught a live stream. I believe in Mudryk. I think it's unfair to compare it with Pepe just because of the price tag. Same, because they're not the same. But the fundamental reason is they're both coming with a lot of a price tag. There's probably realistic and also unrealistic expectations. And there's also a small case study because if you go back through all my videos, again, as much when we were linked with Pepe, I used to sit there and say, as good as he looks, it's only really for as much as he's been on the scene longer than Mudryk, he was only really good for 12, 18 months, a real purple patch. There was an element of what he needed to learn. Money don't really matter. If the guy does the job, money don't care, and it ain't my piece. So I don't really care, man. The market's been spoiled for a while now, man. Every club, the riches of the Premier League has made it go mad. Has Benassi signed a new contract? Yeah, he has, and apparently he has a 50 million release clause. So we have to see how that one develops, man. Really, you have to see how all of these things they develop, man. To be fair, who wants to bet Mudryk fits in easily? I think he'll fit in. And there isn't a bet. As I said, it's the best time to sign him because it's not like when our team was rubbish and we're just Saka's the only sort of hope we have and the only thing making us watch our team. We're not necessarily going to rely initially on Mudryk. So I think this is the best bedding in period for him. You know, you want everyone to go well. DG, do you think this 70 million could be enough to get someone like KK of Napoli? Not really. The common factor between Pepe and Mudryk transfer is the massive gamble. With Pepe, we lost. Exactly like that. Everything's a gamble in short because you don't know. End of the day, you're just going to have to play well. I think there will come on. He's 21 years of age. Like all footballers, he will go through struggles and greater moments at Arsenal. But I hope not. But he'll be all right, man. Fundamentally, for me, if Arteta wants him until I see otherwise, Arteta, for me, your talent ID has been spot on in it. So keep doing what you're doing. Benefit of the doubt. Again, if we were going for him in the summer, we had to have been scouting him long before that. In the summer and the months that have followed, he's kind of awakening himself to the world of football. So we'll have to see, man, what exactly happens. But truthfully, who knows, man? Nothing more I could say on the Mudryk deal, man. Really, you know, go back in time. I think we started talking about transfers from 540 to 48.20, as you lot can see there. Obviously, don't forget people are watching the North London derby on Sunday, an hour before kickoff. We'll be live at 3:30 because we kick off at 4:30. We're obviously going to watch the Manchester derby on Saturday, and obviously in terms of other content, people. Again, if you want to keep up your Mudryk stuff, I'd implore you to all watch this. is playing. I'd all implore you to watch this that I did with Andrew of Zora London, where we spoke about Mudryk's strengths, weaknesses, how he might feeds into the club and that. And obviously check out the other bits of content that your guy did as well, people. Shameless. You can see all the links being posted. Check out the YouTube playlist. If you're not hitting the like button, you know what you need to do as well, people. Oh, I was wondering why is it talking to me about Newcastle at home? Like we got over that, didn't we? Yeah, there it is. Sorry, people. Opening my own videos. Tired of hearing that intro now. Such is life. So yeah. Also, big up the Ugandans, and you're right. Until he's had the signature, everything's a madness. Can we have trusty updates? How's he doing? Loan report be out soon, man. DG, better for us if United win or draw with City. A draw would be perfect, if I'm honest. Who's hating on Pepe? It's a weird flex. Okay. Whoa, I don't know for them names. I don't know who that is. That's not me, though. I'm not a wrong'un. I play for the wrong'uns, but we're not them kind of wrong'uns there. So I don't know about that. Man said hating on Pepe. What's there to hate on? Hope you weren't talking to me. Do you know what? Maybe you got blocked for no reason. Speak, but over. Arsenal has to sign Mudryk in the midfielder. Amen. The man is twerking this hard just to join the club. Imagine what he can do once he's on the pitch. Amen. And that's why it gives me the benefit of the doubt, man. Just show the business. I ain't going to lie. I did come across a little TikTok of yours, Mudryk, where he was moving a bit mad. You know, Eddie, Saka, you have to rush him a bit, you know, be singing along certain lyrics. Hold a quick rushing and then we get on to business. You're moving very mad. But yeah, man, it is what it is. DG, what do you make of Arsenal being so quiet on getting a Thomas Partey competitor, mate? I mean, I'd like a centre mid. That's all I could say. I really don't know. I'd like a centre mid. DG, would you like to see the World Cup approach to extra time in the Prem? No. In fact, yeah, actually, when you consider Newcastle, yeah. Added on time, yeah. I stole the rushing for that one. A little quick smoking, and then we live. North London derby is a must-win because my instinct tells me United is winning and a draw against United will not be bad. I can't lie. I think United are going to get a result against City, man. I'm going with 1-0 United. I want to be wrong because I'd want both teams to lose. It's not done. He's not holding the shirt. You haven't seen this video titled Welcome Mudryk. So until that is done and confirmed, everything is susceptible. If you haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you smash the like button. Again, we've hit 200 likes. So all of you that have hit that like button, God bless you all. But God bless the ones that have hit the like button. Twitch gang, you're amazing. I hope you lot all win the lottery. With that being said, though, people, we've been here for basically 90 minutes. I don't think there's anything more I can say with you lot. You know, again, appreciative to you lot. I know I haven't done these live shows for a minute. It's just been the content. Again, make sure you're smashing the like button. You're commenting either in the live section or also the comments after. Most importantly, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. I'm going to go have my lunch, cut up this live stream and some of the interesting things we spoke about. I'm going to be playing Football Manager on Twitch at 4:30. And again, tomorrow we're watching the Manchester derby. Sunday, we're watching the North London derby. So yeah, check out the transfer news playlist. Check out my last uploads and get your other DG fix. Again, I'm appreciative of all the support you give my platform. Without you lot, it's not possible. So yeah, you lot stay blessed, stay safe. I'm out. And I mean, if Mudryk can do things of this nature, then we're in luck.
Against this right back, Charlie. Against this right back, Charlie.
There's always just that active red line, defending.